Hello everyone. Well, today is the Thursday before Memorial Day weekend, and this week finally decided to warm up, and so it's getting a little hotter every day. I think Monday was the first day this particular year that when I got up in the morning I didn't have to have a jacket. So we're headed for the hot days now. We got a little shower, hope to get some more. We really need rain just like everybody else does across the U.S. So today I thought we'd do something a little different. We're going to go out on the trails, the road that I've got through my property. And we have a lot of trees that have need some maintenance because they have started encroaching onto the road itself. Got a lot of hanging limbs and trees that have bent toward the road that I want to clear up. I want to keep it clear. I got some that's I have trimmed up, and the new growth branches have come down, and they are now on to the reaching down on top where I drive my truck through here. It kind of scrapes the top of the cab, and I just wanted to keep all that clear. And so what we're going to do is I have on my Polaris, I have my chainsaw and my post saw, and we're going to just start right up this hill. And our first stop is going to be right at the top of the hill. Matter of fact, I see one little bitty one that's really young. I'm going to cut it. And then there is a pine tree. I cleared some and thinned out some of the woods on this side, and I trimmed up some of the trees. And this is one of those situations where the higher limbs that I could not reach my post saw is now growing into the road, and I'm going to reach as high as I can with this. I think it goes up to 12 feet. It's very heavy though, and I have sharpened the chain, oiled, and gassed up everything. So let's get that started. Okay, so right here I have this pine tree, and it's got a limb hanging down, and then this cedar tree has started encroaching over, and also down here you can see where those limbs are. I'm going to try to reach as far as I can with this pole saw. Then I got to walk right down there and get that thin one first, I believe. I'm going to just get that one with my chainsaw. Well, I might as well just get that pole saw, what the heck. Because that's all I'm going to trim in here is with the pole saw. And and one day I'm going to take down this cedar tree. I've already made up my mind I'm going to take it down. It opened up. Cedar trees and pine trees, they suck all the moisture out of the soil. And wherever you see a bunch of cedar trees, they just, you can't hardly get anything to grow because of the moisture that they extract from the soil. So anyway, I'm going to set this up, and let's get started on cutting some stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to just clean all this stuff up, and we're going to move on down the road. There's some little branches over here. I'll probably get those with the chainsaw. So let's clean this up now. Okay, so that took about 30 minutes to clean up. And I opened it way up above and got it really open. And I opened this up, cut some off that cedar tree over here and cleaned all that up. So that's really nice, and that's open now. So I'm gonna go down here and we're just gonna roll just a short distance. I'm gonna get up a chainsaw and just hack down a few of these trees, and we're gonna make our way around the road, and we'll run into a bunch of trees that's growing into the road. Also, out here, we have a massive amount of kudzu. I don't have it on my property yet. I keep looking for it. It's all down in here, back in here on the other people's property. And then it's back down here in the neighborhood that I live in. And everybody's getting very concerned about it. And I've been watching for it. And there's an interesting YouTube video about a young kid who knows how to kill it. And besides using goats to use it. And there's also a bunch of people who actually know how to dig it up by the root system and cut the crown, and that will kill it. So I thought that might be kudzu right here when I was putting all the trimmings from my cedar tree and my pine tree cuttings, and I got on my very expensive communication device and looked it up, and I think that's just a regular grapevine. So I don't have to worry about that right now. I am going to get a leaf sample on the way home and make sure that I do know what it looks like. I haven't looked at it up and close personal, but we're going to today. Okay, let's get into Polaris and go down here, and I'm going to stop and cut down some of those trees that I was telling you about, and then I'll turn it back on when we get down to the more significant trees that in the pathway. Well, I made the turn in the corner after I stopped and cut down some trees and that were leaning over the road, and one had this huge poison ivy. The tree was dead, but the poison ivy vine was as big as the tree. Around, it was probably 3 inches around. Anyway, so I had to put on my rain jacket because I'm highly allergic to poison ivy. Probably just inhale it and I'll get it. But I made the turn and I started trimming up these, and then I got chainsaw happy and I kept on walking, and I just kept on cutting. So I've got a lot of stuff to clean up. Got this opened up really nice. Okay. Oh no, so I gotta pull this off the road and get it cleared up. So let's do that now. robocalls. I get so many robocalls. I'm not sure why we have a state do not call list or a national do not call list, because the state can't stop them and the United States can't stop them. I do not understand why they don't have some way of tracking these people down and doing a reverse spam on them, because they ought to be able to track down the digital footprint of the call to know where it originated from. I get probably 20, and they're all saying I've been pre-approved for a loan. My loan application has been pre-approved. Well, guess what? I'm like you. I never applied for a loan. And they just keep coming. I mean, this has been going on for a year and a half. I'm getting probably 10 to 15 a day. The only time I really don't get any is on Sunday. Imagine that. Somebody took a break the Lord's Day, and they decided to take a break. I wish there was something somebody could do on the state and national level to stop this mess. So one thing I've done is that someone told me, or you've heard that you don't want to answer, you don't want to speak, because they will replicate your voice just like it probably can do it in mine right now. But I decided about a week and a half ago, I was so tired of all this mess, that I would just answer it and not say anything. And I did. And the recording started, and it's the same old stuff. Your application you submitted has been approved. As far as something had to do with your tax liability with IRS, your file indicates all kinds of nonsense. And so I answered it. Didn't say anything. And the recorder comes on, and the person begins to speak, and it says, to speak with someone to get your application completed, press 2. If you want to opt out from the call, 9. Well, guess what? I didn't ask you to call me to begin with. So what do? You hit 9, and it says, okay, you're on our do not call list, and it will take 24 hours to remove it. What I really think is happening is they are confirming that they have a viable person, a viable number. And it just goes on and on and on. You telling me with all the technology we got right now, that even with this very dangerous AGI, that they can't find these people and know that they're not legitimate businesses? I don't care where they're coming from in the world, and stop it. Whoop. I got this cleaned up. Let's go on down the road some more. Okay, this is pretty open in here, but those trees right in here are beginning to encroach onto the road and lean into the road because of the light that they are getting. So I think I'm gonna cut those down real quick. You know, I'm allergic to every tree there is. All this is going to do is just make me sneeze all night. I'll wake up in the morning congested. These little elastic things on this jacket, it gets caught on everything. I'm tempted to cut them off. Of course, I've had this jacket 30 years. Well, got that cleaned up. Let's load up and head up the hill. Okay, so I've got some in here that I need to, and they're quite a distance apart, so I think I'm just going to get those cut up and pulled off the road. And then right around the corner, right here, it gets a little narrow. We're going to cut down a whole bunch more over there. So let me get this trimmed up real quick. Well, I got chainsaw happy again, and I cut a lot more trees, and I've been cleaning them up, but it's getting late, and these trees have got my sinuses just tore up. So it looks like it's going to be Benadryl for dinner tonight. And I'm not going to get to finish the rest of this road. Because it's getting late. Excuse me, but you're going to hear that a lot in the next few minutes. See if I can break this, keep it out of the road. Because while the video wasn't running, I was sneezing my head off. And my nose is just flowing. I've cut down black cherry, oak, hickory, dogwood, sweet gum, maple, excuse me again. Alright, that's all I'm going to do today. So what we're going to do now is just ride down to the end of the road, make the loop, head back, put the chainsaw and the pole saw up and head on home and see if I can put together something for dinner. Maybe my wife's got something going on, or may I have to raid the refrigerator. But let's go down to the end of the road and see how much more work we got, and we'll call it a day.